So, can I just point out there was something that I came across my radar earlier today, fam. Of you guys saw it. I put it in the chat. I'll pop up the image in post edit. But it was the One America News Network doing the story about how fucking George Soros. Okay, look.
They're saying Soros.
No, hold on, Rad. Hold on. We gotta set this up right. Comrade.
What did I
We
say?
all know that George Soros is slow on getting us the checks, right?
Right. Where's mine?
I still haven't gotten one. I don't know that anyone here has gotten one. I've gotten a lot of emails explaining why it hasn't come yet. But I think I know why we're not getting the checks. He's distracted. The great one, the Soros, is too busy influencing the Anteefas over at Fox News.
Lawyer Victoria Tunzing is raising questions about Fox News after an interview in which former House Speaker Newt Gingrich was silenced after mentioning the left-wing billionaire philanthropist George Soros. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
I know that there has been a little bit of a dust-up involving Fox News and George Soros and Newt Gingrich, which seems to be part of something of a pattern at Fox News at this point. What seems to be going on in your estimation?
George Soros' influence and power is pervasive at Fox, so much so that on their midday show this week called Outnumbered, the former House Speaker Newt Gingrich was rudely interrupted when he was speaking the truth.
Progressive district attorneys are anti-police, pro-criminal, and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros' money, and they're a major cause of the violence we're seeing because they keep putting the violent criminals back on the street.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
I was going to say you get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're going
I thought you were gonna say that since we run the secretary's office for Antifa, known as Antifa United, people are asking for their checks and we're not getting back fast enough.
No, it's a headline from One America News Network. Actually, let me look at it. It's in here. Let me look at it real quick. I'll find it.
Give us an excerpt.
Antifa, Marxist, Soros-funded Fox.
Okay, so Tone Singh says George Soros' influence and power is pervasive at Fox. Let me see. If I put this up here, will it show it?
Yeah. That's awesome.
This is One America News. There we
go.
Nice.
So, I mean, like, look, we joke, and everyone on the left, even fucking progressives, let me just say progressives are liberals. They're not leftists. They're centrists. But even progressives are like, all this Antifa, George Soros, super soldier is bullshit, is nonsense. They get it. But what level, what level of delusion? They're not delusion at One American News Network. They know that this is bullshit. There's no way. But, like, what level of delusion do you have to try to sell to people that, like, okay, so here's the thing. Here's why I think One American News Network is doing that story, is because Fox News, the owners of Fox News, are positioning themselves to not necessarily just be the Trump network. I think Fox News wants to exist after there's a Trump, right?
Yep.
So they've done some stories that are mildly fucking critical of what he does. They're 99.99% still all in for him, but they've been like, he tweeted a thing that was bad. You know, they'll do that story occasionally, right? But One American News Network is the network that's like, no, he's never tweeted anything that's bad. And the fact that you said
he
that,
tweeted something bad. You're Soros funded Anteefas.
exactly, Brad. Exactly. How fucking just am I tripping, fam? That I think that that's like a really significantly fucking poignant thing to look at in terms of the modern version of fascist propaganda. Like, Drew, please, you were about to say. Can I hear from Drew, please?
I think his base is getting to that point where it's like, it's not, if it's not just Alex Jones doubt, then it must be fake. You know what I mean? And Fox is just a little too centrist for them at this point.
It's that Nazi, if you disagree, you're the enemy shit.
Exactly. Well, totally. It's like, but they're doubling down. They just seem to be doubling down because they can't, like, handle reality. They can handle less and less of reality, so they need more and more of their fix of Looney Land.
Wow. You know, I can say, and then I do want to hear from you, Rad, but I would say, like, I can kind of relate to that. Like, in the years sort of around the Occupy stuff, I was totally indulging a lot of conspiracy theory stuff and reading a lot of conspiracy theory writers and, you know, coming off the fucking sort of Art Bell, you know, version of that stuff before it had become the disgusting cesspool that's QAnon and shit, right? And I was down for it. I was like, fuck yeah, tell me the wildest, weirdest shit you can come up with, and I might even consider that it might be true. Like, I was open to it, right? So I would read David Icke or Jim Mars or fucking, you know, watch the early Alex Jones videotapes and the early DVDs and stuff. And but to get to where it's so hard to put it all together to get to the point where you're fucking Fox News is George Soros.
Right.
How many levels of delusion do you have to internalize to get to that place? Like, I don't know.
The Democratic Party, communists. The Republican Party, communists. Anything that's not as fascist as us, communists. Oh no, that wasn't a joke. That's how they think. It's like everybody who's not fascist like us, communists. The enemy.
Yeah. After
communists are the real liberals,
or at least compromised by the evil Soros lizard people. You know.
The hologram lizard grenade catching and throwing back Anteefas.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of. I guess.
Around.
Well, it serves the look, the reason, actually, let me just back up a little bit and state the words Overton window. Overton window. Okay, like, the Overton window has shifted so far right, it's Sieg Heiling.